All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to the table. Hope you guys are taking good care of yourselves. Tell me how you do in the comments below, and if you're over in chat, hi chat, how are you today? I think I already said that. No, I didn't actually ask how you guys were doing today. One way or the other, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. Just a couple of really quick shout-outs. I've got the Discord linked in the bio for those of you watching here. It is down there, as well as I reactivated the donation button. So real quick shout-outs to Beerus. Thank you so much for the tip, and thank you so much Epic Bro for the tip. Just to get those out of the way. And now we can kind of go live. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Make sure to drink plenty of water during stream tonight. We got a little bit of a grindy one tonight, so let's go live. Yay, live. And we is live.
Right.
Yay, everything actually loaded properly this time, too. Yes, the banana's still here. No, the banana's not leaving. Praise Banana.
Praise the banana.
Huzzah.
We should play Super Animal Royale sometime on stream.
I was about to say, we should do that sometime on stream.
Yep, praise Banana. Have a good one, Epic. Thank you for chopping in.
Best of lick, huh?
I mean, I can lick you if you really want, I guess. It's a really weird request, but we do that here, I guess.
Weirdos.
So, how's everybody doing?
I'm alive.
I exist.
I'm okay.
I'm doing all right.
Good. Good.
A song flashed in my head, but then it died, and it reminded me of an 80s sitcom. Squinting. Okay.
I'm sad that the banana is on your stream and not on the actual table.
Hold on. While Darren's doing the thing, I will put the banana on the table. Would that make you happy?
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, we're probably not going back to Kahakai, at least not anytime soon, so you can just place the banana over Kahakai.
I will just bring it into stream. Here, let's go ahead and flip to story time with Darren.
Yeah.
Oh, did my sound break? Nope, you guys are working.
No, I can hear you.
There we go. It's all you.
Excellent.
So thank you for the tip, Epic Bro. You're a cutie face. And
Oh.
ow! Pokemon.
Right. Last time. Session 49. 2 weeks of relative peace. Relative being the operative word.
Yeah.
Since it will take at least a week for Sean to fully play the Lunar Nimbus, the crew will be staying at the preserve for some time. During the next morning, Minuet takes up the habit of chatting with his new shield, Navnik, trying to teach it things. He also feeds it a bowl of weapon cords for some reason. Spoiling it.
Spaghetti.
You're spoiling your child with expensive spaghetti.
It's not very expensive.
If it
Weapon
costs
cords
gold,
are-
it's expensive spaghetti.
They're like a silver piece. I did use a bunch of them though, but still.
Spoil. Lunar Nimbus is brought over to Sean's island specifically, the forge flying a flag that says, "Please don't" on it. Already the smith seems to be making a large number of hooks and nails. Once Darren awakens sorry. That needs a little comma there.
Oxford comma, people. Very important.
Once Darren awakens, Cirrus relays a message from Sean. "My jaw hurts, and you're an asshole." To which Darren replies, stating Sean is also an asshole, and his everything hurts. Since the Lunar Nimbus will be unavailable to fly around while at the preserve for now, the Master Smith lends out a skiff of his to the crew so they can get around in the interim. Instructions and a map are provided to the crew so they can navigate the area, especially if they need to go retrieve Sean's husband for any reason. Ix's father won't be permitted to stay on the Lunar Nimbus for obvious reasons, but Dad is given the option to go with the crew or stay on the ship. Sean doesn't particularly care if Dad is around so long as he's not in the way, and the rope dragon himself decides to stay since it'll be away from Ix's dad. also so Dat can cook in peace. With the little details for the day out of the way, Minuet asks Ixodras if she would like to go to the beach. The catfolk agrees, looking forward to some relaxing time with her fiancé. Cirrus, meanwhile, wishes to go to the lake for personal research purposes. Unfortunately for Darren, he has work to do and a boss to check in with, and has saddled himself with the job of getting rooms for everyone else while they stay. Minuet makes mention to Darren while they're flying to the preserve proper, he'll probably be visiting the local mask shop to get a mask for his new shield. A strange thing to do, but the Kitsune reasons that Navnik is effectively alive enough that having some sort of miasma protection is prudent. More small talk is made during transit, allowing the crew to peacefully pass the time. When it comes time for the crew to part ways temporarily, Darren directs his friends to the public beach before heading off to Ranger HQ. Ix, Minuet, and Cirrus head to the indicated beach and are given the pleasant surprise of seeing little children running and screaming and swimming along the beach. Many of the youngsters are swimming better than any of the trio probably can, while only a modicum of adults are around to watch the kids. Cirrus magically slips into a bathing suit and tells her friends to save her if they see lots of bubbles coming from where she goes in the water. One older child patrols by the trio along the sandy stretch of land, a wooden life preserver slung over their arm. Hopefully the bounty huntress won't need to be saved by a child. Hopefully. Holding her doubloon in hand, Cirrus walks upon the surface of the lake and surprisingly doesn't sink. As she further experiments with the coin, she finds that so long as she's over water, and potentially in rain, she can walk on the air as well. In addition, she discovers that the doubloon will allow her to breathe underwater for a time. Although the tiefling finds the limits of the coin's abilities and eventually requires the help of the child lifeguard to get back to shore. With Darren, he heads to HQ and finds his boss, the terrifying Null woman, filing her nails and sitting behind the counter. It's somewhat unnerving to hear, but Darren approaches all the same with his report documents in hand. The Explorer Corps captain addresses Darren, explaining offhand as she takes the report that the normal secretary is sick at the moment, and for some reason nobody is bringing in their reports today. She also notes that it seems as though the Dragonkin has a story to tell her, unless he wants to have his story taken down by someone Darren has an ill-fated relationship with. Darren chances it and gives a report to his superior about the ruin in the mists being a no-go zone, as well as the various oddities and dangers present therein. Specifically, the nature of the golden wax and the automata there, as well as where the magical artifact went. Unfortunately for Darren, when he gets to the point of telling his boss the crew gave the artifact to Sean, it appears as though that makes a great deal of work for the Knoll. Getting up, the captain of the Explorer Corps makes Darren take her place at the front desk while she goes to make her own report, giving him 1 hour to come up with a good idea why he didn't report the artifact to the Rangers first. After she leaves, everyone who was withholding their reports comes in and swamps Darren, leaving him quite busy. At some point, Minuet and Ixodras go to the mask vendor in the ranger area of the preserve, mostly to talk to some people. Going into the establishment, it looks much more like a workshop than a normal retail store. There are order sections, paperwork, and 3 people scurrying about hurriedly performing the work. Waiting around a bit, Minuet tries to avoid interrupting any of the mask makers. When it's clear that won't work, the Vox clears his throat, asking for a mask for his familiar. The trio of workers do rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes to deal with the customer, and a Dragonkin-Wolfkin hybrid ends up walking over. It takes some bribing to get Navnik to transform so the staffer can have a look at them. They ask Minuet if they're a ranger or not. Fox replies that Darren is, but he is not. The gears briefly turn in the staffer's head, and he notes that Minuet clearly knows his father, i.e. Sean, when the Kitsune states he made the bite augmentation for mass. Eventually, Minuet is given some paperwork for a friends and family discount, as well as paperwork to sign due to a new technology and etc. This particular child of Sean also seems to be able to understand Navnik's ticking as a language, and occasionally quips at the worrying shield dragon. The construct will be left with the workshop so they can work. As the staffer explains to Minuet between chatting back at Navnik, he'd rather make filter inserts that will fit into the air intakes around the construct's body. Even more interestingly, the only thing that would get corrupted in the mist, according to the Artificer hybrid, is the crystal powering Navnik. So, should it become corrupted, the easy thing to do is toss the crystal and slot a new one. Which should be fine, as the mind of the artifact isn't held in the crystal itself. Minuet is also informed whenever he and Navnik pass away, then the artifact will receive a full soul, as it currently only has a proxy. Much teasing is made at the construct Dragon Shield's expense, calling it a child and precious things that seem to agitate it. In the end, Navnik is stuck at the workshop for a week, much to the disgruntlement of the construct. They even try to give Minuet sad eyes and beg for a kiss on the head before their creator leaves.
You
I
gave
request
me
that Minuet
NPCs.
obliges before heading back to the beach with Ixodras for the afternoon. Darren's boss returns, as she promised, an hour after she left, and the room clears out. She pulls the chair out from under Darren, the dragonkin standing fluidly as she takes a seat. As it turns out, she cannot order Darren to go to an eventual meeting Sean must have with the druids over the artifact, let alone deliver a letter to Sean over it. She looks like she's received a talking to and isn't sure how to feel about the current situation. Taking the letter he was handed before he leaves at his boss's order, Darren chooses to read the letter before his rendezvous with his companions.
Thank you,
The letter
Beerus.
is...
Sorry, thank you, Beerus.
Scream! The letter is an invitation to the Druid's Fire Circle, an optional invitation that includes the whole crew. Darren flies his way to the beach to meet up with his companions. He arrives around the time other rangers have gotten off their work, resulting in the beach being rather more crowded than earlier in the day. Sharing the letter with his friends, Minuet at least seems rather okay with going to the bonfire tonight. The Dragonkin also mentions he put in paperwork to let him and his allies go somewhere special tomorrow, telling his allies to keep their schedules clear. Ixodras and Cirrus both feel the letter is ominous, in spite of its optional caveat. Regardless of weird feelings or excitement all around, the crew do decide to attend the bonfire. In the meantime, the crew relax at the beach, or try to. Darren is having a hard time relaxing and refuses to dress down to a lighter amount of clothes than is normal for him. Unsatisfied with this, Minuet attempts to get his longtime friend to relax to little avail. The Dragonkin seems to lack motivation in spite of having energy, but also having no energy, and also feeling like his heart is being twisted at the moment. In order to distract Darren, Minuet proposes they continue planning their shenanigans for when they go to save Death's soul from the power plant in Sedan. A distraction that the Skald sees as welcome from his own feelings. Cirrus chimes in, wishing to become privy to the plan as well, and injects her own suggestions. She suggests a festival activity she calls the Feast of Fools. The idea is to have Minuet sneak into the power plant and mess with the machines, and afterwards she will spread rumor of a festival to appease the kami to make them not be machine gremlins. And hopefully the festival plan sticks and all the workers of the power plant are out of it for when the crew make their move. In tandem, Darren suggests they keep the first idea as well, painting it as a play to entertain the spirits. Cirrus also declares the Festival of Fools / Feast for the Spirits an actual holiday as a priest of Erebane. A holiday of trickery and madness in the streets for one night, and the common folk celebrating during the day while staying inside at night. The bounty huntress implying they ought to cap off the holiday with fireworks. Air quotes. Basically a worker appreciation day, but lots extra. Bit of a mess of a holiday, but hopefully it works. As it gets late, the Lunar Nimbus crew head out to the Druid bonfire, seeing many rangers present. Sean is predictably present, though he has his war paints on. The crew decide to sit next to the Master Smith. A representative from the Rangers comes out and lights the bonfire, the flames growing rather large. As many times before, the Druids arrive with their faces and hands covered by their deep robes. One by one, people are either called forth to the bonfire or go up of their own volition. Some matters are left public, some are given the privacy of a zone of silence. Sean, for his part, is rather unconcerned about why he needs to be there, which helps some of the crew with their nerves. Most people leave after their business is done. By the end of the normal list, Sean has yet to be called, which is strange. Stranger still, the optional list is reached, something even Darren is unfamiliar with. The Lunar Nimbus crew are requested for their presence, and all four move up to the bonfire. A zone of silence is made. The Druids confirm the crew brought an artifact to the preserve without reporting it first, as well as one of the crew being a ranger. It is requested that before the crew brings such an item to the preserve again, that they be alerted and reported to first. Otherwise, the Druids are prepared to trust the Lunar Nimbus in their choice this time, knowing that all four are in a particular position, even mentioning the sparks the crew bear. As it so happens, the Druids were even considering banning the Lunar Nimbus from the preserve, but have chosen to trust the crew for the moment. Woe betide those that would break the trust of the Druids. They also issue a warning on the responsibility that lays upon the crew's shoulders with the power they wield, and how that power can change them if they are careless. Transparency is expected in the future, and the crew affirm they understand the situation and what is expected of them. Darren in particular offers an apology for his unintended obfuscation, and vows he shall not repeat such a mistake in the future. When declarations and affirmations are said and done, the Druids open the proverbial table to the crew to ask questions of them. The other three look at Darren, who seems less in a state to ask questions at the moment, his self-confidence on somewhat shaky ground. Minuet chooses to ask the circle of Druids if there were any pieces they prefer the crew leave alone while they perform their duty in clearing the board. The Druids would rather not be involved in outside affairs, and will not move against the crew so long as they do not move against the Druids. When questions are done, the crew are given leave to leave the bonfire and sit. Sean isn't called up by the time the Druids put out the fire, causing the Wolfsune to be increasingly tense and fearful. After the fire is put out, one Druid extends a hand from their robe and motions for Sean to follow them, and the smith is taken away to another location, looking scared out of his wits. It's certainly an interesting sight for the crew to see. Darren is the first to leave the bonfire area, giving his allies their room keys, leaving Ix's father's room key with Ix, for the local tavern. He walks off towards the ranger barracks with a 100-yard stare, holding and petting over Servette for a modicum of comfort. Ixadrass and Cirrus get up to leave as well to go to their rooms. Minuet is the only one who stays long enough to see Sean return, looking like a zombie and very frazzled. Pulling out a water skin, the fox offers it to the wolf, who asks if it is full of liquor. Sadly, no such luck. Refusing the water skin, Sean seems rather not okay. As someone who makes dismissal arrows to deal with the devil he has as found family, Sean was terrified by the Druids and the discussion he had to have with them. He does, however, thank Minuet for the gift, but does ask that the crew not bring him an artifact ever again. The smith pats the kitsune on the head and goes home, intent on slamming the hardest liquor in his cabinet and cuddle his husband as much as possible. Wishing Sean a good night as he departs, Minuet heads off to the tavern to join Ixadrass in their shared room. In the morning, the crew reconvenes, Darren lagging behind a bit since he took some sleep aids the night before. The ranger explains he has arranged for the crew to go beneath the Hampton Preserve, down into a space that has been purified of the miasma. Taking a ferry to a sky tower nearby, the crew begin to descend down toward the ground. For the first time for several of the crew, they are able to see the ground from above, unobscured by the miasma. During the elevator ride down, Darren chats up the crew about the sky towers, their purposes, and who usually works with them. At a decent pace, the elevator descends 2 miles down toward the surface of the world, feeling a bit loose to some of the crew. Mostly Minuet. Minuet expresses an amount of nervousness since he, compared to his friends, knows exactly how the elevator functions. This is not a comforting thing to know. It takes a while before the crew reach the bottom. At the bottom are rangers present who make a check over the crew to ensure everyone is okay and hand out water. The doors are open and the crew are treated to the sight of ground level, with no miasma. Minuet excitedly begins peppering Darren with questions about the purified zone, although he doesn't have many answers. Much of the area is pristine nature, although Darren does take his friends near the ranger graves, explaining their significance as they pass by at a respectful distance. It is a wondrous trek through pure nature, the crew getting to perform a proper nature hike. In their exuberance, Minuet shifts into fox form and darts in and out of the forest several times before an amount of nausea reaches them and they perch on Ixadrass's shoulder to rest a bit. During the walk, Cirrus notes she considered taking the short way down since her boots would minimize the damage her body would suffer from falling, a method that none of her companions would recommend normally. During the hike, Darren briefly laments not having Serene around for it, getting recommended by Minuet to send the half-dragon a sketch of the forest later. On a similar note, Minuet shifts back when it comes time to leave the surface and uses their magic gloves to check the mechanical structure of the elevator. This causes the fox to have sorry. This causes the fox to nearly have a panic attack because they can't see the magics helping repair and keep things together, only the basic machinery of it. The architecturally minded Kitsune decides they're going to make plans for a new, much better elevator to replace this one. Someday, after much testing and proofing of the concept and product. The rest of the week, the crew do general things they've been wanting to do or work on. At some point during the week, Cirrus leaves her room, not into the hall of the tavern, but into one of Arabane's private rooms in his castle. Arabane notes she is choosing to represent him fully now, which he accepts. Then the Unforgotten gestures to the tiefling sword, asking how its reconditioning is going, if he has to destroy it or not. He also impresses upon his priestess that she may well be starting a religion, given her current plans. Also that the fragment within the sword is a piece of an archon and wants to know whose archon it is. His or hers. In response, Cirrus pulls out her coin and asks her god to call it. Of course, Arabane picks tails. The coin lands heads, and Arabane accepts the result, telling the bounty huntress to continue her counseling of the blade in Barrio. When the meeting concludes, Arabane lets Cirrus know the door she came through goes where she expects it to now. Minuet periodically checks on his construct at the local workshop. When it comes time for Nagnut to be returned, they have been wrapped up like a burrito and are looking both angry and happy. The half-breed staffer from before attends to things and shows Minuet how the whole filter thing will work, demonstrating and having Minuet try as well. Navnik clearly hates the process, but at least is seemingly pleased to be back with its creator.
I mean, you'd hate it too if something was shoved in your nose.
I mean, it's for his own good. Albeit with a dent from being punted across the workshop for biting the staff while working. So the industrious fox heads back to the Lunar Nimbus at the end of the week to perform some repairs and care for his artifact. Minuet also manages to put forth some plans for a new elevator to the Druids, which are taken under consideration. There's a missing bit here. Finally, the crew head to Sean's Forge to retrieve their ship. The plating on the ship is rather decent, especially considering it isn't Sean's specialty. So when the Lunar Nimbus finally prepares to embark on its way to Lurbank, it is coated in gleaming metal. Travel takes a week and is relatively uneventful outside of going slightly off course once along the way. The only notable thing being Minuet needing to fix their wardrobe to better fit. Docking at medium security for 5 silver a day, the crew try to simply drop off Ix's father, who insists on one last dinner with his daughter, just in case she doesn't come back. Caving in, the crew pay for 3 weeks at the dock, giving Ix's father enough time to make it. 3 days, sorry. It's even 3 days in my notes, so. Giving Ix's father enough time to make a nice reservation so they can have a nice dinner together. In the meanwhile, Minuet goes off to check some local guild contacts, getting directed at a bar called Stop. Since this is a college town, the bar is just full of new, young, edgy thieves who aren't even hiding their proclivities and activities. It painfully reminds Minuet of his younger years as a ne'er-do-well. The barkeeper looks incredibly tired as the kitsune moves up to them, asking if any of the company's contacts were here. Just the barkeep from the look of it. Minuet wants to have some information spread around, specifically about something going on in Sedan. Standing up a bit straighter, the barkeep is surprised they might need a back room and triple checks that this isn't some sort of petty thing. They head to a back room to discuss what Minuet has to say. Minuet specifically saying they might accidentally make a holiday that would be great for business. Since the job in Sedan is crucial, a distraction is necessary, so getting information spread about a once every 100 years event would be appreciated. A hard sell, but the barkeep is still interested, only getting exasperated when Minuet tries to hide the whole blowing of the power plant thing as shenanigans. In the end, Minuet writes down his proposal to be sent off, the plan itself likely to be enacted in about 2 months' time. So plenty of time to spread rumors and information, hopefully. The barkeep seems thoroughly exhausted by their post here, and says if Minuet sees the guildmaster to tell them he hates them. They seem at least a little surprised by the idea that Minuet has made the guildmaster's life a little harder, even if they don't know how. When Minuet finally leaves the back room, the entire bar is staring at him. A whole gaggle of little edgelords trying to be the edgiest little shits they can be.
The candles were blown out at the tables. The room was dark. They all glistened their eyes slowly towards Minuet, then flicked their hair because, of course,
Cha.
they're not interested in what's going on with the actual possible member that just went into the back room.
Why would they be?
We're real members, too.
Barely. and the kitsune just smiles and waves as he leaves, saying hello to a guard at the door he was told to greet. The guard seems surprised and asks what sort of trouble Minuet is making, only to get deflected in that the trouble won't be here. Asking Minuet's name, the kitsune gives his Twilight Thieves alias. Since that was suspicious, the guard asks if the fox wants to go downtown with him. Minuet cheerily replies that he doesn't feel like it, since he has a dinner date to get to, resulting in the guard stating they'll be watching him. When he gets back to the ship, Minuet drinks a potion to look different, shifting back to a more masculine shape in spite of it feeling a bit strange. Since the guards are a suspicious lot, they do attempt to come looking for Minuet via his alias. Cirrus and Ixodras give the guards a runaround, claiming Minuet, in fox form, as a familiar. Apparently, the previous experience with guards has made the crew wise to how guards work, successfully warding them away from the ship.
That almost ended up being a thing.
I'm glad it didn't.
When the man behind the counter, the guild representative said, "Hey, say hello to the guard," he was pointing him out specifically to not engage him.
Oh.
In
Well,
code.
I mean, Minuet took it literally.
We noticed, and it's funny.
Also, if Minuet knew that he was being trailed, he would have done the Scooby-Doo chase back to the ship.
No, unfortunately, the guards keep a high eye on this place because a lot of stupid things happen because of this place.
Meanwhile, you've done nothing,
Yeah.
Nope.
which makes you extra suspicious.
Exactly. You didn't hear anything of some sort of prank plot or any of the "we're gonna rob this place" conversations. Nope, you went into the back room. And then you had the gall to say hi.
Huh?
Anyway, that is where we left off.
Indeed, let's go ahead and swap over. And I know Beerus is going to kill me if I don't say it out loud. So this is Kai's birthday week. His birthday was Wednesday.
Ah,
Oh, happy birthday!
flail!
I got cheesed in the face. And Beerus was going to ask me to sing to Key, but Key specifically requested I don't.
It's sweet of you, but please no.
And Beerus is confetting me to death right now, so that's happening. Well,
Yeah.
Sing or else what, Beerus?
No Bears.
No.
No, I sang to Kai privately. We're okay.
Lewd.
And I played the guitar.
Oh.
One
I'm gonna
way.
lag you out with Beerus, don't do that.
Beerus, my hand controls are not on right now. My PC can actually handle this. Ah. Oh, I'll just be way back here.
It looks like you fell onto the table.
Good job.
Just streamers getting bullied. It's
Funny.
how nature works, I guess.
Beerus,
All
you
right.
realize we'll just, like, ignore you and keep going, right?
So get ready to ignore a lot of confetti on my stream. I apologize to anybody else watching. Oh God!
Eventually,
God.
Beerus will run out of points.
Yeah, I'm. Wow. Okay, I'm just being sent into the shadow realm, I guess. Okay.
Speaking of the
Okay.
Shadow Realm,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
one of the things I'm going to change about my default spell preparations,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change Flame Strike for Shadow Evocation.
That is a fucking fantastic spell, and you absolutely better.
I mean, Flame Strike is nothing to fucking sneeze at. That's, 96 points of half of this, you're not fucking resisting damage.
so important question, Tyago.
Yeah?
Do you have a wayfinder?
No.
Okay.
You can get them everywhere. Why do you ask, though?
Because I do have these 3 Ioun stones with resonances,
Right?
and
Oh,
one
yeah.
of them is a resonance of Divine Magic Enlarged Tail. It also is a +1 stealth. That's what the Ioun stone just does. So Yeah, serious.
I mean,
if you
the primary use of Cirrus's tail benefits from being smaller rather than larger.
I
So,
see.
is that a constant effect or is it an activated effect?
No, it's a you have to cast it as a divine magic.
Oh, too bad Darren can't do it. He's not a divine caster.
Yeah, same for Minuet is the problem.
Yeah, her tail does the sneaky.
But yeah, in Large Tail, the spell is when attacking with your tail or tail weapons, you gain 5 feet of reach, a +1 on your attack rolls, and a +2 bonus on damage rolls.
Yeah, I don't have a tail attack.
So the reach would be the significant thing if you ever are interested.
See, if that
Yeah,
were
but
in large
I would have to
wings-
use an action to actually use it, right?
Yeah, but it's hours per level.
Ah,
See, if that were in large wings, few of us could actually use that.
Pierce is about to be mad at me. He did actually leg me up, by the way.
Of course.
I just put a cooldown timer. I'll be back
yeah,
eventually.
alternative-
I can see you lagging like ridiculously at the moment.
Well, he put like 12 of them on me at once, so
Keith and Rira in my chat wishes you a happy birthday.
Aw, thank
Aw.
you.
Happy belated birthday, specifically.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, alternatively, I do have another Iron Stone with Pearl of Power Resonance.
jeez. Additional spell slot first level, right?
I think so. Well, yeah, I've got the 3 Iron Stones from way back when, and I recall them not being useful for me, and Taigo not really needing them actively, but just as a consideration, I'm just bringing up the fact that I've got them.
We've got a few magic items like that, like the fucking hacky sack of teleportation.
Yeah, which we do need to use at some point. It's perfect for the sedan thing.
Oh, I'm fucking using that shit. If
Honestly,
Ix
you
is
could
okay
use the
with letting
hacky
me
sack
borrow
to
it.
throw off the guards.
Like, actually, that was like
I-
one thing that Cirrus has been considering. Just requisitioning from the ship's supply, because throwing a hacky sack is
What do
totally
you mean
something her tail is
requisitioning it
capable
from the
of doing.
supplies? Ixadrass has been holding on to that thing.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
why has Cirrus not been using it then?
I haven't had a like. There hasn't been a point for Ixadrass to use it yet.
yeah. Your action economy is kind of rough sometimes because
Right, action
It's-
economy is I cast a spell and sometimes I get to move.
Meanwhile, Cirrus's action economy has, hey, yeah, I've got this thing that can grab or throw things every round as a free action that I'm just not using most of the time.
So yeah, that should probably go to Cirrus. That said, just so that we might resume activities.
yeah. Sorry for the derail a little
No.
bit.
I was going to say that, I mean, it would definitely help Ix get into position in places, and then I remembered that she's fucking Spider Cat.
Spider cat.
I'm going to climb this thing and nobody is going to catch me get fucked. Is basically what her movement boils down to.
I just had the sudden, spectacular thought.
Oh no.
What we do is we give the hacky sack to Navnik.
Oh no!
Oh god, it's a moving shield that can bite people. Oh no! Suddenly shield bash.
Just don't let Navnik eat it.
But then he can
Yeah.
teleport.
Yeah, but if he absorbs its power, think of the mischief it could cause.
Oh,
I'm down.
Jesus.
I
I
see this
just
as an
know-
absolute win.
I'm just now imagining Navnik gaining the power of the hacky sack, and then Minuet becoming the fucking combination of Captain America and Nightcrawler.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's not do that to Aerith.
Literally throwing Navnik around as a discus just to teleport around while Navnik's just going, aha, shield bash and bite, bonk.
Oh, you would become Noctis.
Oh God! With what is the
The Armiger Warp.
Armiger? Yeah.
Okay, never mind, chat. You can leg me out now.
Why?
Leg me out of existence. They're doing things again. I'm letting them think.
Oh no. Right.
I love the concept of Armiger, by the way.
It's awesome. I love it. It's just a shame that, you know,
The game was
15
such
kind
a.
of poopy.
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
I know I've told Variant, but I have to ask the rest of you guys. Have you heard what Yoshi P's response was to will Final Fantasy XIV be getting a Final Fantasy XVI crossover?
Looking
No.
forward to it?
His response was, I'm going to paraphrase this. I don't know. I'll have to go and talk to the director of Final Fantasy XIV about organizing this. I hear his name is Yoshida too, so this may be an interesting conversation.
He's such a shit poster. It's great.
Somebody was a DM. Got it. Understood. You used to talk to yourself.
Yoshi P used Talk to himself. It was super effective.
Oh, this confetti. Oh, there it goes.
Right. Anyway, sorry.
All right.
Assuming we're on day 2, the dinner is day 3, right?
Yes. He's taking you to one of the nicest places in the city.
Cool.
Guys, can I recommend a detour on our trip though? Because
Where are we going?
oh no, we're already there. Never mind. I was going to suggest that we investigate the new point of interest on the map.
The new point of interest. Oh.
Oh, what, the banana?
God damn it.
I
Oh,
hear this
God.
new island is a high source of potassium.
Oh no, it's like Majora's Mask. It's coming in from the sky. Nobody knows how or where. The great Eldritch banana.
No, it's Kazakhstan because this area has superior potassium.
Ah, gosh, we need to stop memeing.
No.
Okay.
No, this is D&D. There's 3 rules to D&D. Have fun, meme, and yes, there's sex at the table. Get over it.
Right. Well, unless anybody else needs Darren, he's probably going to actually take advantage of the fact we're in college town and try and use one of the college libraries for research purposes.
Speaking of research, Minuet is complete with his book reading. So if anyone would like to use, let's see, what are they? Volumes 2 through 10 of Use Magic Device, or 2 through 10 of Sleight of Hand. They are available to be read.
I think the person that would be most interested in that is probably Cirrus. Maybe?
What?
Skill books for either Sleight of Hand or Use Magic Device.
Yeah, Cirrus can make use of both of those.
Yep. Refer to the rules for skill enhancing in, I believe it's resources.
Yeah, it's 40 hours per, unless you've got something that accelerates.
Okay, so and this will grant how much skill?
It depends on how many volumes
it's-
you read.
Yeah, it's single volumes of A tier of skill. If you've got 1 point, you can begin because that's volume 1, which I don't have. So yeah, it's 40 hours for +1 to that skill.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Well, we've
some
got plenty of
classification-
downtime in flight.
Past the fact that you're technically creating a religion and officially a holiday,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
you are propagating, and you know you guys are in college town. Do you know what you should do because it encourages laziness and being an asshole?
Tell people about a holiday.
Yep.
So
Actually, legitimately, my chat can even vouch for this. I was already in the process of planning on doing this there because I was looking up the rules for starting a rumor.
oh boy, so you look those rules up. Go for it.
Planting a rumor requires carefully spreading and cultivating it. A PC can plant a rumor in a settlement by spending 1 week or 1d4 days if the settlement is smaller than a town, which this isn't, and succeeding at a propaganda check. This check can be a bluff, diplomacy, or perform, act, oratory, or sing check, or another skill check at the GM's discretion. The base DC of a propaganda check is 15. If a true rumor is particularly believable or unbelievable, the DC may decrease by up to 5 or increase to 20, respectively. Which I guess is their way of saying increase or decrease by up to 5. But I didn't write this article. If the rumor is false, the PC must succeed at an additional bluff check to avoid being caught in a lie, applying plausibility modifiers as normal. If a PC fails the bluff check by 5 or more, she takes, I don't know why this is gendered, takes
It
a
always
-4
is.
penalty on all bluff and diplomacy checks she attempts in the settlement for 1d4 weeks. Because rumors are difficult to plant in large settlements, PCs should apply the modifier based on the settlement size listed in the table below to propaganda as well as bluff checks to avoid being caught in a lie. Big city hard.
Yeah, big city hard, and you need a week.
How hard?
But-
My base modifier is +24.
So, are we in? Is Lunar a metropolis or simply a large city?
It is a metropolis officially.
Okay, then the DC would be 35.
You guys are the level
Okay,
for
well-
that nonsense.
I've got roughly a 50-50 chance without any assistance.
I would need to roll really well, but I could do it with Intimidate.
I mean, technically, you
it-
guys have a settling ground. The problem is that you guys are going to have to spend a week. So this is a discussion I think you guys should have first.
I'm
Yeah.
just imagining just Ix grabbing someone by the throat, throttling them. There is a party coming.
The party is imminent.
Yeah.
It might work with Ix. It depends on how she roleplays it.
Yeah, I'm just imagining though using intimidate to start this rumor of a party.
There's a party coming and you can't stop it.
I have a diplomacy of 17, and I've got all of those really nice charisma spells.
Darren's diplomacy is 11, but he could. Yeah, I can replace that with my perform orator, which is maxed, I believe.
Which is how much?
It's 18.
Yeah, Minuet's perform wind is 24, which versatile performance is his diplomacy.
And thankfully, I've saved us 50% of the checks on this.
Huh?
Because if it's a lie, you have to make an additional bluff check. But Cirrus has declared this to be an official holiday as a high priestess.
That's rude.
Technically, it's not a lie.
Yeah, so and I never looked up these rules before. It was just like in case anyone like cast Zone of Truth, she thought to do that.
No, this is actually the right way to do a technical lie, because she can, and as a high cleric of a free spirited god, she can make up a holiday, call it a holiday, and as long as anybody celebrates it, it is an official holiday. So, if you guys are going to do this, we need to go ahead and get you guys a week in dock after today.
Darren, are you down for this?
Do you guys need a moment to discuss? Because you guys also have to choose a hard date now. Officially.
Oh, shit.
You will have to declare a day for this to happen. Because you're spreading out more than one island now.
Yeah, we know it will take at least 2 months. Based on the fact that Minuet would have probably shared information from their foray earlier with us. It would take at least 2 months. So 2 months out, I require the calendar. Hang on.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and really quickly get another drink. I'm going to let you guys discuss this because you guys got decisions to make if you guys are going to do this. Which I will allow. And Holy God Airbane's going to be like, oh crap, I'm a god again.
Well, I'm cool with if we can make it 2 months out. Let's do 2 months out.
I'm on the opposite side of the coin. We're adventurers. Shit goes wrong with us.
Oh, so 3.
I was going to say 4.
This is assuming that we take a break between going down to deal with Ixodras's ancestors and going to Sedan.
We also need to establish enough time for Minuet to get in and fucking, fuck with shit so they start really thinking that this ceremony is necessary.
Darren lays out a map and then just sort of draws his finger across the map, making an imaginary path for the moment. So, given the amount of time it takes us to get from Hampton Preserve down to Lorebank, going all the way from Lorebank, if we head straight to where we need to go next and don't stop at Borg Ferry or Bickle Ferry.
We're in Lorebank.
Yes, I know. I'm doing it as a point of comparison. If we go from Lorebank to either Big Timber or Borg Ferry, that only adds maybe a day or 2, depending on how long we stay. Then we would go over to where those bandits harassed us before, and hopefully we deal with that. Then, generally speaking, we would go over to Sedan directly. That would take us approximately 3, maybe 4 weeks at most. It also depends on if we head back to Borg Ferry in order to cash in on the bandits, which I assume we would.
Now, that would probably be the better idea. Let them know that the bandits didn't just disperse on their own and we're vulturing the reward.
True. I could also use my sending stone to get a message to that law enforcer in Borg Fury.
Look, I'm just going to make an even simpler suggestion. Gestures to terminal.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry, not Borg Fury, Olben. That's even closer.
So hear me out.
This is a big. This is not a small bounty, so chances are that it may still actually be handled by Borg Fury.
Hear me out. How about we see if we can drum up some assistance for our little foray into bounty hunting? Maybe show up with a whole flotilla.
I beg your pardon.
A fleet.
I know what a flotilla is. I'm curious as to how you think you'll manage that.
Yeah, remember, these guys are...
There's a big reward for the whole island. So...
Can we please
if we split it...
Just to preempt you, I apologize. But let's not spread that rumor here, at the very least, because as we know, college children are stupid.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, I don't. I do not want. For one, I don't want to split the reward. For two, I don't want the blood of all of the people without armored ships on our hands.
That's fair. That's fair.
Tactful.
Agreed. Now, let's say we head straight from dealing with Ixadras's ancestor to Sedan. That might take us 5-6 days, since we'd be close to the clusters. That means that it would take 1 month in order to get through all that. We would have an entire month to deal with Sedan and seed things there. At the most, I would say 2.5 months, 3. Since, let's face it, Sedan is going to be a bit expensive to dock at.
On top of that, you got to configure in that you got the week that you got to spend here propagating. And if you guys choose to propagate in Borg Fury or not, and then propagating in Sedan.
Yeah. 3 sounds good, at least.
All right. Does that sound good to you, Captain?
Yeah, that's probably good.
Very well. And after we deal with the bandits, we are going to have to go down, find Ix's ancestor, and then we are going to have to go back up and deal with her other ancestor. Assuming we can't do both at the same time.
It's odds are Ix is gonna show up very shortly after the whole casting Speak with Dead thing.
Very well. I'm just trying to get a basic timetable. Yes. If we're going to spread this rumor here, I'll pay for another 6 days, and I think I need a chart. He pulls out a sheaf of paper and starts scribbling some things down. Let's just say, for brevity's sake, that this festival will be taking place about 3 months from now.
What are you naming this festival? Because you have two things going on now. You have the you rumor versus no, or the yes versus no. That happens once every 100 years. That just happens to coincide in a new. We're going to party and eat a bunch and then go to bed early party or ceremony.
Mhm.
So Sirius, come up with a name for your festival that you're making up.
Cirrus actually feels kind of bad that she more or less hijacked the idea that Minuet was already working with. So she kind of wants Minuet to have the honor of naming it.
No, you're the high priestess. You do the thing.
See, Minuet's thing is separate. Minuet's thing only happens every 100 years. Minuet's thing is an excuse for a bunch of robbers to come out and do stupid things to anybody that isn't or have a lantern out, because apparently Minuet is also a capitalist.
So effectively, Minuet's thing is an event that happens once every 100 years and just so happens to coincide with the holiday.
There's a lot of holidays that are like that, strangely.
I wonder why. It's like, that whole area of the world is connected by land.
But okay, no, not just that. Like throughout history, there are a whole lot of holidays that just so happen to work that way. All of a sudden, whatever the religious leader of the sorry, text to speech kicked up. But the the religious leader just so happens to need something to happen or to be okay. And then all of a sudden they receive divine revelation about how, this is totally what the gods want.
Well, you can figure that most cultures had also figured out the solstices and the equinoxes, and everybody celebrates those. One way or the other, we have two events, so technically Cirrus could name theirs, and Minuet could technically give theirs an official name. Or Minuet could totally leave it arbitrary and a madness thing and just not name it, so that way people can give it all sorts of shit.
I'm gonna name it or something, maybe, potentially. Give me a bit though. Yeah. Actually, an important question. That might require some research from Darren.
Oh.
When is the next major astrological event to happen around the time frame that we're looking for?
Oh boy.
Wow, making me think. Damn.
May I make a knowledge history?
You may.
Since astrological events tend to happen in cycles. That is
Lucky number 13.
28.
Off the top of your head, without doing any actual research, are you including your bonus for using the book?
Bonus with book would make it 32.
Blue Moon is going to happen that month.
Oh.
Around that time.
At around that time, a blue moon should appear. If we can pinpoint the date, we could use that for the rumor. Once in a blue moon.
That was the joke I was going for. I'm glad somebody got my bad joke. Yay.
Terrible.
I'm not apologizing for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not. You can't make me.
Perhaps useful on your end, but on mine, I mean, neither of those, neither blue nor moon, are exactly in his purview.
A new moon is. Technically, our lunar eclipse is, but...
I mean, who's to say Cirrus can't make a lunar eclipse happen?
Legitimately, probably the restrictions that have been put on my spell list, because there's a 99% chance that any spell that could do that would have the darkness descriptor.
But
Yep.
you have the illusion descriptor available. Still.
Oh.
But blue moon is an extra full moon, correct?
It is the second full moon during a particular month. They happen once every 13 months. So technically not an ultra rare event. That's just something that you can do off the top of your head, though. Most people don't have star charts in their brains.
So, I've got a way for this to tie in, by the way, also. In that, you know the yes and no thing? Well, no, N-O-H. The kanji for it means skill, craft, or talent.
Yeah, I'd have to see this kanji, because I don't know of a kanji that's NOH in Japanese.
I mean,
So
I know
how
that
does
no
that tie
masks
in?
are a thing.
Yeah, but that's NOO.
I thought it was NOH.
No, because
It's
that'd be
a
no
type of theater.
Oh, the Kabuki theaters?
Yeah, a no mask.
It was an important plot point in a recent Phoenix Wright trial I did.
Now I have to look at this kanji. Oh, it's a no man. Okay, that's why. Anglicized.
And of course, Cirrus now
Okay.
realizes that she's doing the one thing she probably shouldn't be, and extremely overthinking this.
I suppose I could do some research in the libraries here. At least
But,
today.
Simple, I appreciate your thoughts, but I've got a good name for it, and just because it's just a good name.
Oh dear.
Cirrus just snaps her fingers and says, "The Feast of the Longest Shadow."
Oh.
Okay.
Feast of the Longest Shadow is one side. Now Minuet has to come up with a name for the no versus yes. What is this cataclysmic preventative event called? That just happens to fall upon the Feast of the Longest Shadows.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to work in
Also,
something theatrical about it.
I just want to make sure on something, Era. It is circumstance bonus is the one that stacks indefinitely, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you
Just
can
wanted
have
to
a
make
bunch
sure
of
which of the
circumstances rolling in your favor.
yeah, just wanted to make sure which of the like 5 billion categories of bonus was the one that stacks together. Because I'm looking at this and it's like, oh yeah, this one gives an insight bonus. This one gives a divine bonus.
I believe it's only circumstance and dodge bonuses that stack.
Dodge bonuses do not stack.
Is it not? Oh, is it
It's
luck?
only circumstance. No, not luck either, because you can only have so much luck.
I know there's another thing that can be applied that does stack, but it's very rare.
It's one of the stupid ones way buried in there that I don't think you'll ever encounter. I don't remember what it's called, but I think I know what you're talking about. Circumstance bonus always stacks because you can always stack circumstance in your favor. It's not dodge. I know it's not dodge because you can only take advantage of the feat or the ability once. I know it's not luck because luck is always rerolls or temporary bonuses, so those do not stack, and temporary bonuses do not stack.
Unless you've got a stone of luck, which is just permanent, like +1 to fucking everything.
The Stone of Luck, it's that +1 or another bonus if it's higher.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. There's another thing, if there is another thing. I think I know what you're talking about, I just don't remember what the fuck it is. The reason why Circumstance bonus specifically stacks those because you can always stack the cards in your favor. It's player intent.
Dodge bonuses stack with all other bonuses to AC, even other dodge bonuses.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that might be a 3.5 thing.
Yep. I know because of Victor, and Victor only.
Regardless, within the context of this, I don't think I'm going to be adding any dodge bonuses to my diplomacy rolls.
Nope. It'd be funny if you could, but
Yeah, it's
Get out
only
of
circumstance and
conversation
dodge.
free card.
so Minuet needs to come up with a name.
Okay, so I'm thinking like something like the Tragedy of Nose Theater or something, with no spelled differently every time. N-O-H, N-O-U-H, whatever, just add or remove letters, but still have it be pronounced the same.
I like how at one point the no becomes Australian.
Does it become a yes?
N-O-R.
Because it's upside down.
Well,
No!
no, there are two. I've actually confused some Australian friends by just asking them to say no, and then being like, "Oh, you're the Nor kind," or "Oh, you're the NOUH kind," because there are two Australian ways to say no, and those are either no or Nor.
You mean like think or a freaking geek? No.
Which,
Yeah. Geek
Great.
and Jaws are both definite Nor kinds, and if you're aware of video essay circles, Fringy is a no kind.
But yeah, geek is freaking great.
So's Juz. Juz can get a little pissy though. It's funny. Either rates.
I
Do you
think we
need
could all
time?
agree that Carl is the troll equivalent of Satan.
I love Carl. I love Carl so much. So, shallst we get to or commence the whole ridiculous rolling nonsense we're about to get into?
I suppose.
Since Minuet needs time, it sounds like, to come up with a name.
Yeah,
Okay.
one that fits better, I guess.
You can use that name if you'd like. I'm going to warn you that if you do something with changes, it technically is going to work against you.
Yeah, that is fair.
But it sounds like we have two holidays you guys need to propagate, so you guys are going to have to split into two groups.
Okay.
Okay. With the case of for Cirrus.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that this process of spreading rumors is a combination of just like whispering in random people's ears and also occasionally dropping a big bomb on a tavern or something to get everyone knowing about it.
You very well may have to do something that as the High Priestess would do.
Proselytize.
Yeah, you might have to give a speech. You might actually have to push.
Okay, well, no, the reason I'm asking this is because the charisma enhancing spells that she's got basically come in two flavors. The really, really short ones that she can constantly reapply without any problem, and then ones with a longer duration that are used at one particular time.
It's probably split. You're probably going to want to roll or save those big ones for when you decide to do the whole I'm going to be a priestess and do a sermon thing.
Okay, so basically for the first few, then I just use the small ones, and then like for the last few days I use the full bonus load.
Probably, yes. That'd probably be the easiest.
Okay, then I'm going to subtract 600 GP for 3 days worth of soothing incenses.
All right, so who's joining Team Cirrus? Who's joining Team Minuet in propagating? Well, we know Minuet is on Minuet.
We know Cirrus is on Cirrus.
Okay, so I intend to propagate with performance a lot. So, you want to do the perform thing with me, Darren?
Yeah, Darren will help. It's just that today is the day that we are figuring out things, and Darren needs to go do research so we have a date.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darren will have to do his first day researching Minuet will be without. Hey, Ixodras, do you want to join Team Cirrus or do you want to join Team Minuet?
Hear me out, Ix. You could join Cirrus and do the whole there's a fucking holiday coming thing. The threatening people.
I'm unsure how well that would work.
I
with
really
Nimbus
do
Curse.
not think threatening people to enjoy a holiday. You will enjoy this fucking holiday. is exactly the best way to go about things.
I mean, I've got it intimidate at a plus 17. So
However, perhaps in a non-skill checky sort of way, Ix could still help by getting my message to important ears.
Oh man, you're gonna make her do noble stuff in her hometown.
If I'm having to do fucking high priestess shit,
You
she's got
chose
to
to
do
do that.
nobility shit.
you chose to do high priestess shit. Ixtajash chose to get away from nobility shit.
Fenrir, I recognize you're new here. You need to understand that she is high priestess by default.
As in, she's the only worshiper.
Yes, she currently this god has her.
Well, he's technically not even a god. He's a paradox that you happen to run in one of his kids, and he's like, shit.
Well,
And I fucked up. Yeah, so there is no flock to spread this through.
what is Ix going to do today?
Ix has no fucking clue.
Ix could just enjoy life. Or Ix could technically help. Ix could also watch Dat make He's Gone Pie. This is not Ancient Draconic Secrets. He pulls out a cookbook that looks like it's clipped from a magazine. It seems to be from some sort of women's magazine about divorce.
I didn't realize you felt that way about my father, Dat.
Dat goes, you have no idea. He was in this kitchen every day, and every